Okay, as was mentioned, L'schus Rachmirim Bashendel. So we're going to dedicate today's shir to the theme of Chanukah, and now let's relate to our appreciation and understanding how everything comes for the Eibishter. One of the fundamental aspects of the mitzvah of Chanukah is that the mitzvah of Chanukah is the only mitzvah that we do in the street. The original mitzvah was to light the candle al Pesach Beisim Bechutz outside one's house in the street in the Reshus Harabim. Generally, the Reshus Harabim, the street, represents a place of klippa, of kedusha. The home is the opposite of kedusha. The home is a place of kedusha, of holiness. And the street, in fact, the words Reshus Hayachid means an individual domain, a place where the individual Hashem, who is the only individual, the Yachid, the Yechid Shalom, is present. Rabbim represents many, represents Tumah, Klippa, Sitracha, where there's so many different approaches, there's no one way. And the mitzvah of Chanukah is to put in the street. It's also a mitzvah that we do dafka by night. We wait until it gets night. We don't do it when it's day. In a time of darkness, in a place of darkness. We put on the left side, not like any other mitzvah which is on the right side, all representing challenges, difficulties, tumah, impurity. And now the job of the light of Chanukah is to illuminate the darkness and to illuminate the left side and to illuminate the street. When we talk about our relationship with darkness, how we interact with darkness, how we interact with challenging forces, there are many ways how we go about it. And generally, we can divide this in two approaches. There's an approach called a milchama approach. We go to battle with darkness. Or approach of menucha, a calm, relaxed approach where we're not directly interacting with them. We're above them and we accomplish so much more in some ways. Normally, we talk about three forms of avodas Hashem. There's the avodas Hashem of learning Torah. We serve Hashem through davening, and we serve Hashem also when we eat and we engage in this material world. When we eat and drink, we're actually in a battle with gashmis, with worldly matters, with worldly material pursuits. We might not realize that maybe because we're not eating the right way. But the Zohar says, Nama apum char belechel, that the bread should be eaten on the edge of a sword. We're now interacting directly with the worst things. We're developing our pleasures, our sensations, which could lead us off the path. And we need to be constantly focused that the real reason why we're eating the best diet in the world is to think like that, is l'shem shamayim. So we're in a state of war because the gashmis is right in front of us. When we're davening, we're connecting with Hashem. We're not in this world, in a gashmiziga world, but at the same time, the purpose of davening is to change over our animalistic traits, to develop, to fix up our animal soul. And therefore the expression sometimes used about davening is that this is a cherev shel sholem. It's not a sword like eating, but it's a peaceful sword. We're interacting with the gashmias, but in a bit of a removed way. When we're learning Torah, we're totally, there's no discussion about the animal soul. We're just allowing Hashem's wisdom to penetrate our mind. So we're standing way higher. When we talk about these different approaches with interacting with this world, there's a general difference that is made often between the Mishkan and the Beis Hamikdash. The pasuk says, again, the time of the Mishkan, the Aron, the Holy Ark, went into the desert. Vahi ben Soya Aron vayoyim Moshe. The Aron traveled them wherever they went, and the Aron would destroy all enemies that were in front of them. It would flatten out the area, but it would also destroy all the enemies, all opposition. Like the pasuk says, all the enemies, all the haters will all run away because the Aron is coming. The Aron walks straight into the Midbar. The desert is a place of snakes, of scorpions. It's a place which is the opposite of Kedusha. It's a place which is not an inhabitable place. An inhabitable place represents a holy place. A place of snakes and scorpions represents a place of klippa. The Aron goes there and kills them all out. So, in a way, we're interacting with evil. We're not staying in our place, we're actually traveling into the Midbar. But we're traveling into the Midbar in a way that it's as if the king is going out of his country and going to the enemy's country. But there's no war, there's just the Mishkan. The Aron travels through and everything gets destroyed on the way. Over here the pasuk says, Kuma Hashem v'yafutz v'yevecha. The Zohar tells us that there's another pasuk which says the word Kuma, but that's about the Beis Hamikdash. Kuma Hashem lemnuchasecha. There's a Kuma v'yafutz v'yevecha. There's a place where we The Mishkan is traveling in the Midbar and the enemies are running away. And then it's Kuma Hashem Lamnucha Secha Menucha, calm, not even going into the place of the desert. What is the Beis HaMikdash was built through Shlomo. David HaMelech couldn't build the Beis HaMikdash because he was a man of war. The Beis HaMikdash is a place of peace. About Shlomo HaMelech it says, Hu yiyeh ish menucha. Shlomo shemoy v'sholem v'sheket eten el Yisrael b'yamav. He's a man of peace. He's a man of calmness, of tranquility. Shlomo HaMelech's interaction with the world is not like the Mishkan's interaction. The Mishkan, even though the Mishkan, there was no direct battle, the Mishkan, like I said, the Aron went into the middle and automatically all the enemies had to run away, but there's going to the place of the enemy. In the time of Shlomo HaMelech was the opposite. The pasuk says, "Vayavoyim mikol ha'amim l'shmoya es chachma Shlomo." All the kings of the world came, heard the wisdom of Shlomo, and they came to Shlomo. V'chol ha'aretz, another passage, "V'chol malchei ha'aretz mevakshim es pnei Shlomo l'shmoya es chachmasei asher nasan elokim b'libei." They all came to hear the wisdom of Shlomo Melech, which came from Hashem. We say similarly about Mashiach, "V'naru elev kol hagayim." When Mashiach will come, all the nations will turn towards Mashiach. They're obviously not coming because of Shlomo Melech's wisdom. They're coming because of the godliness. Asher nasan elokim b'libei. They're sensing kedusha. They're sensing edelkeit. They're sensing a certain sensitivity. So when a person engages in battle, that means the enemy farnemta art. He's something. He's important. The fact that you need to go into the midbar and the enemies can run away, that means there's some place for evil. With Shlomo Melech, no, I'm in the Beis HaMikdash. They're coming to me. I don't even interact in any way. They don't even matter. Menucha, the opposite of menucha, milchama. Menucha means he's not here. There is no evil. I'm just in the world in the state of godliness. But even with Shlomo Melech, not everybody made it to Shlomo Melech. Only those that had the sensitivity to feel, to their hair, to appreciate something about godliness, was able to come. When Mashiach comes, everything will be transformed. The darkness itself will be transformed. The Gashmi itself will be elevated to become Kedusha. Because when Mashiach comes, we'll appreciate that everything is the Eibishter. And that's one of the differences that we're talking about when we go back to the story of Chanukah. With Chanukah, we light the menorah in the street. Why don't we light it in the house, and the light will go into the street? Light it by day, and it will shine into the night, which is indeed what happened in the Beis HaMikdash. In the Beis HaMikdash, the menorah was lit indoors, but it affected, the light of the menorah affected the whole entire world. It was lit by day, and the light went into the night. Chanukah, isn't that a much higher level, the level of Shlomo HaMelech, where he doesn't interact with the darkness, doesn't interact with the evil, where they all come to him? Like we said at the Mishkan, it went into the Midbar, and all the enemies would run away. Why do we have to go into the Midbar? Why can't we just light it by day, and the light will go straight into the night? Why do we have to start lighting it by night, and why do we have to light it in the street? So let's go back to what we started off with. There's different ways of interacting with evil. There's what we call a milamata l'mayla approach. You start from below, you really work with the bad and try to elevate it, and that means you get dirty when you do that. And that's what the problem with eating is. That's why we have to constantly be on the edge of the sword when we're eating. We could do like the Mishkan, go from above, milamayla lamata. We shine a light, and the negativity disappears, but the negativity doesn't get changed. It doesn't get affected internally. The Mishkan would kill all the snakes and the scorpions. We didn't work with them. They didn't change. Shlomo HaMelech is even higher. Shlomo HaMelech pulled them towards him. It's like a torch which all the sparks get attracted to the torch, to the light, to the source of light. The Goyim came towards Shlomo. But the problem with Shlomo HaMelech is, yes, it changed them, but it's not them. It's sort of like an added dimension. You see that only those that had the sensitivity would come to Shlomo HaMelech. Whoever's not sensitive didn't come. And they had to come to him. The pasuk says that the queen of Shva, Malka Shva, Shama Shemesh Shlomo, she heard all about Shlomo HaMelech, Vatova Yerushalma, she came to Yerushalayim. So in the time of Shlomo HaMelech, there's Elokus, godliness, revelation, spirituality is found, Ruchnis is found where? In the Beis HaMikdash, in Yerushalayim. If Malka Shva understands and appreciates that there's a place to sense Epis Hecher, something higher, she needs to hear about Shlomo and go to Yerushalayim. When Mashiach will come, you don't have to go anywhere. Hashem is all over. Hashem is all over, and everything you appreciate, everything that exists is because of Hashem. The pasuk says when Mashiach comes, Oz efech ala'am safe bruda, Likra kulam b'shem Hashem la'avdei Shechem echad. All the nations will start serving Hashem. They where they are. They don't have to come to Yerushalayim. This is a much higher madrega than the madrega of the Beis Hamikdash, madrega of Shlomo HaMelech, where Shlomo HaMelech affected them without interacting with them, but he couldn't affect everyone and didn't change the world itself. It's sort of an added dimension. Not appreciating that the world else is a lukus, everything is the Eibishter. Just to give an example to understand better and appreciate what we're talking about, when we talk about how a tzaddik can nullify decrees that are made by Hashem, obviously that doesn't mean that a tzaddik nullifies what Hashem wants. A tzaddik reaches a much higher level within Hashem, and therefore he can nullify decrees. There's three expressions that we use. And sometimes we don't notice a subtle difference. The Gemara says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu geizer gezeira v'tzaddik mevatel. Hashem can make a decree and the tzaddik can nullify it. Tzaddik moishel b'yiras alakim, me moishel bi. So to speak, the tzaddik is controlling over me. The tzaddik, I made a decree, and the tzaddik is nullifying it. So it's a form of control, so to speak. There's another Gemara that says, a person who kol ha'malamed is ben amoritz Torah, if somebody engages with someone that's a foreign person, who's a son of an amoritz, of an ignoramus, and he teaches him Torah, afilu HaKadosh Baruch Hu goyz gzeira, when Hashem makes a decree, the decree HaKadosh Baruch Hu mevatla b'shviloi. Hashem annuls the decree because of this tzaddik. So there's one expression that Hashem makes a decree and that tzaddik nullifies it, or Hashem himself nullifies it for him. And there's another expression, the Yerushalmi says, v'sigzer oimer v'yakum lach, about a tzaddik, that when hu amar hachem, at amar hachem, I say something and the tzaddik says something, I tell the tzaddik what you said happens, what I said doesn't happen. Di loy kaima. What I said doesn't exist. This controlling, changing the system of creation that Hashem made, this person should be sick and this place should have a drought, and the tzaddik comes and is mevatel and has to control it. He goes and changes the whole system of creation. There's another madrega that from within, HaKadosh Baruch Hu mevatel b'shvila, such a high level of a tzaddik, that the system itself changes because of him. HaKadosh Baruch Hu mevatla. And there's a third madrega where di loy kaima, di dach kaima. What I said doesn't exist. There is no gzeira. Nothing exists. There's interacting in a controlling way. It's interacting, changing the system from within. Well, there's no problem. When we talk about the mile of Chanukah, Chanukah is much higher than the madrega of Shlomo HaMelech. Shlomo HaMelech built the Beis Hamikdash. Beis Hamikdash was destroyed. Neiras Chanukah stay forever. They never are nullified. Eina b'teil leil, they stay forever. The story of Chanukah is not that I'm lighting it when it's daytime and it's shining into the night. Not that I'm lighting it in my house and it's shining into the street. The story of Chanukah is this, like what will happen in Lasad Lavai. The time of Shlomo HaMelech, there's above and below. There's Yerushalayim and outside Yerushalayim. You need to come to Shlomo HaMelech. It's Saf Kol Saf. We didn't penetrate the world that everything is the Eibishter. There is no evil. Everything is, the Gzeira that Hashem made just doesn't exist from this high level of this tzaddik's perspective. Oz Efrab, the world will change. The time of Chanukah, there's no house and street. You can be in the street and light the menorah. There's no day and night. Night is day. Darkness has turned into light. We don't need to do an activity to go and penetrate the evil. The mile of the story of the Chashmonaim is, the Chashmonaim fought in a way which makes no sense. They went to war, which is a natural engagement of battle. It's a natural approach. It's not a Ness approach. They could have said, we're not fighting. We're just going to sit and do our Avodas Hashem, and that's it. No, they went into the world. They went to engage with the enemy using natural tactics of fighting. But it's not a normal warfare. You can't fight when you have gorillas and elephants, giborim, strong people, rab and mene, and you're just a few, chalashim and weak. So you're engaging in teva, in nature, but in a system which makes no sense, because the Chashmonaim understood that everything in this world is the Eibishter. Teva is also the Eibishter. So it doesn't make a difference. Even if I could be in a world of teva, I could be in a natural world, where it makes no sense that we should win, where there's opposition, but this opposition is also godliness. I know that everything is the Eibishter, and if everything will work out. It's all the Eibishter. Not that I'm trying to fight with the evil from above. The evil itself, I don't have to get the evil to come to me. The evil itself, everything that I see in this world, darkness, light, darkness, day, left, right, day, night, street, house, it's all Hashem. That we'll see when Mashiach comes. And that's why, I'll finish with this, it says that the mitzvah of Chanukah is to light it until there's nobody walking the street anymore. That's the ideal time for lighting, ideal or right time for lighting the menorah. What does that mean? Nobody walking the street anymore? Zok the Gemara, you have to wait ad the Kali Rigla the Tarmadoy until the Tarmud nation stops walking the street. They stayed late in the street because they would sell oil, they would sell wood, people have to have fire to light up the house. They need to have light. You need to buy from them wood by night. It's the latest store that's open. It's not a pizza store, it's a Tarmadoy store, the nation of Tarmud. Tarmud was a nation that originally rebelled against Shlomo HaMelech. Tarmud is actually the letters Moiredes, rebelling. That's the worst level, rebelling against Shlomo HaMelech. Even amongst Goyim, they appreciated Shlomo HaMelech. No, Tarmud rebels. Tarmud is Moiredes, rebels against Hashem. The story of Chanukah is that when the Tarmadoyim are still in the street, we finish off Kal Yerigel till there's no more feet of Tarmadoyim walking the street. We get rid of every type of evil. Kal Yer, we cause them to have Klois HaNefesh. We change the whole entire world from within, not because we have to change it, not we have to control it. We appreciate the whole world as the Eibishter. If we can appreciate every single thing that moves in this world is all Hashem. There's no top and bottom. It's all Hashem. Hashem is not in the higher worlds more than he's in the lower worlds. That will be revealed when Mashiach comes. May that take place taken from Yad Mamash Afreil Chanukah.